مشاهدينا مرحبا، لقاء جديد بطل عليكم فيه عبر شاشة مريم تي في من برنامج سفرة مع سفير. بيسعدني بهالمناسبة استضيف سعادة سفير بنغلاديش السيد عبد المطلب ساركر. His Excellency, hello.
Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Hope all is well.
Fine. Thank you.
First, allow me to say thank you. It's a great pleasure and honor to have you today in Mariam TV Plateau. We're gonna make a short or long trip to Bangladesh today. You will be taking us to this very lovely country, to this very beautiful country. And I have a question before we start. We say that Bangladesh is the capital Dhaka for sure, is the country Bengal. Why is this nomination on it? And some information, please.
Actually, the name Bangladesh, Bangla means language or language Bangla, and Desh means country. Bangladesh means a country of Bangla. That means in a country where the people speaks in Bangla. Actually, Bangla language is very dear to our people. In 1952, our people fought for their languages. When we became independent from the British rule in 1947,
Yes.
we became Pakistan and India. Pakistan had two wings. One was the East Pakistan and another one the West Pakistan.
Okay.
The West Pakistani people, they spoke a lot of languages, including Urdu. 6% of their people spoke Urdu, and they have Sindh, they have Punjabi, they have many languages. But in our part, that is East Pakistan or East Bengal, the present-day Bangladesh, 90% of its people speak the same language, that is Bangla.
Yes.
They feel very proud of their languages. We have a very rich culture, rich heritage in our languages. So the people, when the Pakistani government decided that Urdu would be the only state language of Pakistan, our people didn't accept it.
Yes.
Because 98% of the people spoke Bangla, so they said that there should be two languages. One may be Urdu for West Pakistan and Bangla for the East Pakistani people, who speak 90% of whom speak Bangla.
Okay.
But the then ruler, they didn't accept it, so the people came out in the street in demand of their mother language as Bangla. There was a section 144 imposed by the police. They opened fire and 7 people died on the spot.
We're talking before 1971, before
Yes.
they took
It was
their
in
independence.
1952. It was
Yes.
in 1952
Yes.
that 7 of our people, they gave their life, they sacrificed their life for the language Bangla.
This is amazing.
And I think we are the only country where the people gave their blood, sacrificed their life to protect their mother language. That's why the name Bangla.
To have
and from
the language of
Bangladesh.
the nation.
Language of the nation. And you know that we are very proud that in 1999, the UNESCO, they declared 21st February as the International Mother Language Day in commemoration of our Martyrs' Day, on which day the people sacrificed their lives.
Wow.
So it was on 21st February 1952, the 7 people sacrificed their life, and on 21st February in 1999, the UNESCO declared this day as the International Mother Language Day. So now this day of our sacrifice is followed all over the world, celebrated all over the world every year.
It must be a high pride for
We
the
are very
country,
proud
for
of
the
it.
nation, and for the
We are
locals.
very proud of our language.
And in 1971, they said that they become independent, and we say the father of the nation who gave this independency. Can you tell us more, please?
Actually, let me come again from that question that we became independent in 1947 from the British rule.
Yes.
And Pakistan was created with 2 wings. But these 2 wings were not together. They had 1,400 kilometers distance between the 2 wings. So in our wing, there was no banks, no universities, only 1 or 2 universities were created, no infrastructure, nobody got any job in the government services. So there are a lot of disparities. So the people wanted to reduce the disparities, to get more opportunities, because our area is a plain land. We call it delta.
Yes.
The largest delta in the world. We grow a lot of crops, rice, jute, and many things. We export those and earn a lot of money, but the money would go to West Pakistan, because the central bank was in West Pakistan. So the foreign
And
earning,
excuse me, you mean that this wealth should be for
the East Pakistani people,
the East Pakistani people?
since there was no bank here, the central
Okay.
bank was in West Pakistan. So
Okay.
all the money, we exported it, but the money would come to West Pakistan.
Oh my God.
So all the developments were in West Pakistan. There were industries, there were schools, colleges, infrastructure. But in our area, there was only one university, which was built by the British people, not by the Pakistan people. So there are a lot of disparities. So
Yes.
the people wanted to reduce the disparities, but
And to be independent.
no, at that time they didn't want independence.
Okay.
In 1947, 48, 54. So there were like gradual movement of the people in
Yes.
demand of their rights.
Okay.
But the Pakistani leadership, they didn't accept our rights.
Mhm.
So during this period, there was very veteran leaders like Hossain Sohrawardi, A.K. Fazlul Haq, who were the leaders of the British India.
Okay.
So they were at the time a little bit older. So our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he became a young leader in 1949. He first became a member of that organization called.
Can you come again? His name?
His name was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Okay.
Later on, he was given the title Bangabandhu. Bangabandhu means friend of the people.
Friends of the people.
Friend of the people. So later on, because of his contribution to our movement, to our independence, to lead the country towards an economically viable country, people gave him this title Bangabandhu.
Wow.
So he led our country since 1947. In 48, in 52, in the language movement, he played a very important role. He was jailed. He was kept jailed for more than a year because of his involvement in the language movement. Then later on, it was a general who was given in charge of East Pakistan or present-day Bangladesh. They imposed a lot of rules so that he cannot do politics. So gradually, he had a lot of movements. In 1969, he made a 6 points movement, which is very famous in the history of Bangladesh and Pakistan.
Yes.
He made 6 points to reduce the disparity and treat the two wings of Pakistan equally.
And these disparities were reduced indeed.
No,
No.
they didn't accept any of this.
Any of this.
Yes.
They were all rejected.
All rejected. So in 1970, there was the national election of the National Assembly in both East Pakistan and West Pakistan.
Yes.
In East Pakistan, there are 169 seats. So under his leadership, Bangladesh Awami League won 167 seats out of 169 seats. Except 2 seats, he won all the seats because
Wow.
of his leadership. But still, the Pakistan, he was supposed to be the prime minister because
Okay.
he had a serious majority. You can see it. But they were dilly-dallying and they were not giving him the power to become the prime minister, to form the government. And every time they said, okay, they were meeting after meetings, they discussed a lot of things, they imposed a lot of points.
They were
on him.
postponing,
They're postponing, they're delaying it and discussing anything.
however,
But
in vain.
yeah, but you know that in parliamentary democracy, it is the majority party who formed the government. So it should be the easy decision that he should be given the chance to form the government. But they didn't do it. Later on, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, he was the majority leader in West Pakistan. Actually, he was making some plans, and in connivance with the army leadership, they decided that they will not give power.
Okay.
So the leadership came to the East Pakistan in early March to have meeting, but after they came, suddenly they postponed the meeting for some reasons, without showing any reasons.
It's meant to be, I guess.
Yes, and gradually they were bringing army people from West Pakistan to East Pakistan at night through flights and other things. So it was going to the our leadership. They could know that they are doing it. So on 7th March 1971,
Yes.
our father of the nation, he delivered a speech in, we call it Racecourse Field, which is a big field where almost like 500,000 people.
How was the
or some-
positive impact at this time?
Yeah, so they gathered and he delivered a speech, which is a remarkable speech. And this speech has been accepted by the UNESCO as a intangible cultural heritage, as a part of intangible cultural heritage last year.
This is amazing. He's
It's
indeed
a
the fathers
very
of the
inspiring.
nation and
It was
friends
a
of the
very
nation.
small. It was a very small speech of 17 minutes, but it was so inspiring. But without violence, he started without violence. That he doesn't want any violence. So he wanted people to participate. Whatever happens, follow it up, and whatever they have come out of in the street with whatever they have. because at the time we didn't have that many of army personnel or police personnel. And suddenly, as they were bringing army personnel at the dead of night from West Pakistan to East Pakistan, on the night of 25th March, suddenly they attacked our country. When people were sleeping at around 12:30, suddenly they attacked Dhaka, and in one night they killed 100,000 people only in Dhaka city.
100,000 people in one night?
City, Dhaka alone.
In Dhaka, the capital?
Yeah, they attacked the main, like the university areas, where the students, the teachers.
And how was it stopped at this time?
At the time we had no preparation. Then our father of the nation, he declared independence. And they also arrested our father of the nation on the same night and took him to West Pakistan.
He must be a hero.
Yeah, he's a hero.
He must be,
and he
is a hero.
Such a charismatic leader. If you listen to his voices, you will feel inspired. That he doesn't need to say you anything. He just talk to you 5 minutes and you will feel that I can do anything.
It requires a lot of courage, trust.
Yes, he was very courageous and he was very, what is called charismatic leader.
His Excellency, if you want to go back to a geographic situation or location on the geographical map of Bangladesh, it is bordered by Pakistan, by India.
There is no border with Pakistan.
Yes, no border.
We have border mainly with India. We are in South Asia. We call it South Asian region. So regionally we are in South Asia. We are bordered by India in two sides, in north and west. These two sides we are bordered by India, and on the southeast also a little bit of India and a little bit of Myanmar. And on the south we have the Bay of Bengal. So you can say that we are surrounded by 2.5 sides by India, on west, north and northeast.
So mainly India.
Mainly India.
Yes.
We have around 4,700 kilometer long border, land border, and out of that almost like 4,300, 4,270 is with India. So around 300 kilometer with.
And how is the relationship with India, as long as it's the main border?
Actually, we have a very good relations with India, because India helped us during our independence.
Yes.
And almost 10 million of our people, they fled to India during this war of independence, and they were as refugees there for 9-10 months. After our independence, they came back, and India provided us with a lot of logistical support and also diplomatic support to campaign in favor of our war of independence. So we have relations. Again, you know that there is a saying that you can divorce your wife, but you cannot divorce your neighbor.
Exactly.
Because you cannot move from there.
This is perfectly true.
Yeah. So they are our largest neighbor, and we have to live together peacefully for our mutual benefit.
Exactly.
So we have a lot of business. We were the largest business partner of India for long time, until 2 years back, for export and import in South Asia. But recently China, we import a lot of things from China. So China has become the #1 business partner, and India has become the second largest. So we have, you can say it, political, diplomatic, military, cultural, lot of relationship. High relationship.
And we say that Bangladesh is very large as a country. It has 62 districts. Can you tell us about these districts?
Actually, yes, we are a big country, but not so big. If you look at India or China, they are very big. They're like a continent.
Bigger than?
Yeah, bigger than us. Our geographical area is around 147,500 square kilometer.
Any river, any
square kilometer, and but we have a huge population. We have 160 million people.
Wow.
160 million people. So in terms of population, we are the 8th largest country.
High
in
demographic
the world.
volume.
Yes, we are the 8th largest populated country in the world.
And this population is divided, how it is divided?
We are a very homogeneous country. Homogeneous country. We have almost 87% of our people are Muslims, and mainly Sunni Muslims. Then we have a small number, like 20,000 Shias, and 12% Hindus, and just 1% is like Christian, Buddhist. They form 1% of our population.
And this different mass, how it is surviving?
We live very, we have
in a peaceful way.
We have very harmonious relation. For ages, or you can say centuries, we have lived together without any problem. Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Christian. We have our own religious structures. So we go there. We have mosque, we have temple, we have churches. We
And
have
any
everything.
foreigners in the country
Yes.
doing some business?
There are a lot of foreigners.
Mainly?
We have Chinese, we have Indians, we have people from almost, you can say every country, because there are a lot of business in our country. So we have, if we say about employment, India has the largest employment in our country. We have around 100,000 Indians working in Bangladesh in different areas. And we have the similar amount of Chinese, and then other people, including Lebanese also. I'm happy that during the last 2-3 years of my tenure, the more and more Lebanese are going to Bangladesh for entrepreneurship.
For business?
Not only business, they are
For
also going to
education.
they are also going to Bangladesh for as technical persons, as professionals in
Nice.
banking sector, in telecom sector, in ICT sector, in various sectors.
Especially the telecom is skyrocketing now
Yeah.
as an industry in Bangladesh.
And not only that, also like for higher institutions auditing. So they're going to like high level job, for high level job.
Nice.
And it's increasing. It's increasing. And I think recently they have opened Lebanese restaurants also in Bangladesh, Dhaka.
Wow.
Restaurants and
Definitely run by Lebanese people.
yes, Lebanese chefs and Lebanese owner along with Bangladeshi.
What's the name of the restaurant?
It is a joint venture. I forgot the exact name, but it has some Lebanese name.
It's going to be the capital of
because
Lebanon,
I have
for
not seen it,
instance.
because they went to Bangladesh like 1.5 years before.
Nice.
So I heard last month when a delegation came, they told me yes, they have set up a Lebanese.
This is very important for Lebanon to
yes.
convey
Lebanese,
the
Bangladesh.
pattern and the
I
wealth
should say
of
Lebanese
Lebanon.
Bangladesh relations.
Nice.
Because it will provide Lebanese cuisine, and through it, there will be more and more interaction between the Bangladeshi people and the Lebanese people.
His Excellency, we're going to see now on the screen a small documentary of about Bangladesh.
Yeah.
We will watch it together.
Okay.
لكن مشاهدينا شفنا الوثائقي يلي كتير حلو عن بنغلاديش والشيق. من بعد البريك نحن وياكم الفاصل نرجع لسعادة السفير تنعلق عليه، وشكرا. مشاهدينا من بعد العودة من الفاصل نحن وسعادة السفير السيد عبد المطلب ساركر سعادة سفير بنغلاديش رح نغطي الوثائقي يلي شفناه نحن وياكم على الشاشة. His Excellency, the documentary is amazing. It highlights the best touristic spots in Bangladesh, the National Parliament, the Martyr Square. And something that I liked about this documentary, you have a woman in Parliament. I forgot her name. It's very difficult to pronounce it.
Actually, yeah.
And she's a singer. How come that she can have this mixture between art, singing, and being a political acting leader?
Okay. Actually, in Bangladesh, in terms of women empowerment, we are one of the top country in the world in terms of women empowerment.
Yes.
So our Prime Minister is a woman.
Yes. Her name?
And her name is Sheikh Hasina.
Okay.
Actually, she is the daughter of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Okay.
So that's why Sheikh Mujibur, so her name is Sheikh Hasina.
Okay.
So she is the
difficult
daughter.
names to pronounce.
Yeah. Then we have the Speaker of the Parliament. She is also a lady, Shirin Sharmin Chowdhury.
Okay.
We have several ministers who are ladies, and the previous foreign minister was also a lady. Dr.
Actually, they must believe in their mission. It's not an easy mission for
Yes,
a woman, though they are doing, I believe, their task perfectly to the best
Actually,
way.
now the government has taken a measure that they have reserved 33% seats of the local election, that is the local government, for women candidate or female candidate.
Okay.
So in anywhere, at least 1/3 of the elected representatives are women. So they are doing politics, or they are learning about admission from the grassroots levels, that is at the Union Parishad level, which are the small administrative unit of Bangladesh.
They must be raising the flag of women empowerment and
Exactly.
women feminist activity.
Yes, and you see 1/3 is reserved, and they can also compete with their male candidates.
Nice.
So they can also come with competition, and 1/3 is reserved. So these ladies, they are coming from grassroots levels, and they are quite aware, and they know their duties very well.
Is it easy for a lady to run the job or the task in Parliament?
There is no problem, because now some of the mayors of the biggest cities are also women.
How many mayors do we have in Bangladesh? Almost.
Actually, you have more than 100. We call it Purushabhas or municipalities. So
more than 100.
Yes.
All over Bangladesh.
All over Bangladesh.
And what about these 62 districts?
But the mayors, we have now, I think, 6 or 7 of the biggest cities.
Okay.
So 1 or 2 of these mayors are ladies.
What are the biggest cities, His Excellency?
In Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh.
Okay.
Then we have the Chittagong, like in Lebanon we call it the business hub of Bangladesh. Chittagong, then we have Khulna, Rajshahi, Rangpur, we have Barishal, and also Mymensingh. These are the 8 divisional headquarters, division of Bangladesh. And these divisions are then divided into smaller units called district.
Okay.
We have 64 districts in Bangladesh, and these districts.
And excuse me for interruption. And the districts are run by presidents, we say?
No, district. There are district. We call it district commissioner, who are government.
District commissioner. Yes.
And also there are elected people's representative.
Okay.
So the people's representatives are there, and also the government's employees are there.
They are elected every now and then, or
every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
They are elected every 4 years.
A 4-year term election.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there is a smaller unit called district. Then districts are divided into sub-district. We call it Upazila. Every Upazila is then divided into unions, union
Nice.
council. So union council is the smallest unit of administration in Bangladesh.
So from district to sub-districts to unions.
Like we have around 45,000 union councils in Bangladesh.
Wow.
45,000.
A big number.
Yes, big number. So these union councils actually, we have like 87,000 villages.
And their main mission?
Their main mission is to provide the government services to the people.
Okay.
and also help the people to get whatever they needs from time to time.
So to satisfy people's needs
Right.
and requests, demands.
Yes.
Okay.
So locally, whatever need, including infrastructure development, market, everything. So it is under their administration that what should be done for the rural people. So it is first done by the Union Council. They send the budget or they send the request to the upper unit. Then through that unit, it goes to the government.
All right.
So, and then government sanction it, but it is implemented by the union councils. 50 seats reserved for the women candidates. So in our parliament, we have 350 seats. So out of these 350 seats, 50 are reserved for the women, and then women can also compete for the other 300. So at this moment, we have over 75 women parliamentarians in our.
Talking about women, I have a small question, His Excellency. What do you how do you consider the beauty of Bangladeshi women? If you allow me.
Actually,
Starting from which point? Based on what?
Actually, beauty is defined by many peoples in many ways.
Yes.
But in our country, we emphasize more on people's women's intelligence, their education.
So first number is intelligence. Yes.
Their education.
Education.
Their contribution to the society.
Positive contribution to society.
Positive contribution to the society and the country overall.
Exactly, and to country.
And they are part and parcel of our society. Actually, from long ago, our country is emphasizing on the empowerment of women. Okay. Our national poet was Kazi Nazrul Islam. He has a famous poem where he said that whatever good have been done in this world, half of them have been done by the men and the rest half by women.
Nice.
That means that keeping this half of the population outside the mainstream, you cannot develop a country, because if you don't involve this 50% of your population to constructive jobs or positive things, give them education and involve them in the building of your country or society, you cannot develop, you cannot make progress. So
we complete each other, men and women.
Yes. And that's why our government has taken a number of steps to empower women. We have the highest enrollment of girl child in schools. They are doing very, very good job, very, very good results. We have 27% women in administration, government administration.
And how about education in Bangladesh?
In Bangladesh, education for girl child is free up to 10th, 12th grade.
All right.
The government, not only their education is free, the
government will cover the tuition fees.
Yes,
for schools.
they cover the tuition fees. They give them free books. They also give stipend or scholarship for the poor or middle class students.
A very respectful government.
Yes, so that's why we are doing very good in terms of this one, and this is being appreciated by the world leaders, including the United Nations. What we have done in women empowerment, it is really appreciable. So.
And until which grade they are covered? You said
12th grade.
12 grades.
To 12 grades.
Then about university fees.
Universities, yeah, our government, we have a number of public universities
yes.
where the fee is very small.
Very
small. The annual fee is like $6 or $7. So,
wow.
So it's.
And the private universities?
Private universities are a little bit expensive, but not as expensive as outside the country.
They are affordable.
They are more or less affordable, but we have around 34 government universities.
Wow.
So we have government medical colleges, we have the engineering universities, we have general universities, and our universities are really big. Like the number university, which is known as the Oxford of the East, the Dhaka University.
And professors of universities are locals, or it's in between?
Locals and also from outside,
foreigners.
But mainly locals.
Right.
Mainly locals.
In private universities, they are foreigners?
They are mixed.
Okay.
Because many of our people go out for study, higher study. They do it outside in America, in Britain. Then they come back and they join the universities. And there is also a lot of collaboration with the foreign universities. So our educational standard is quite high. And as I was saying, that there are over 40,000 students in one university. So you can imagine how big these universities are.
Wow, this is amazing.
There are like 60 to 70 faculties, 50 to 70 faculties.
Main faculties are?
Main faculty is science. We divide in science, arts, and commerce.
Medicine.
Yeah, so many subjects are there, and they're also accepting the modern subjects which are coming all over the world today. So they're also opening new faculties for including those subjects.
And now, if we're going to cover the economy and the industry side segment of Bangladesh, we say that pharmaceutical products are very important in the main industry activity.
Yeah.
We have fish production and exportation, export-import
Yes.
for
Actually,
fish,
yes, you're right.
and other natural resources.
Perhaps you know that Bangladesh is growing at a rate of 7.5%. It grew 7.5% last year, and before that year it was 7.18% growth.
And this
we are
is
the
perfectly
second.
true.
Yeah,
Excuse me. In the year 2016, it was the fastest growing
Yeah.
growing economy.
It was 7.1%, but last year our growth increased further, and it was 7.58%. And as per the United Nations, we are the second highest growing country, second fastest growing country in the world.
Second highest, according to the United Nations report.
Yes,
Okay.
second fastest growing country in the world.
Yes.
And we have an economy of around $286 billion. Our export is around $38 billion. Import is around $45 billion. So it is like $100 billion export imports to a trade. So we also have a big trade. Some of our
Basically focused on what?
yeah, main industries of exports are first textile and garments, ready-made garments. We are the number 2 in the world after China. You know, China is a very big country. So after China, Bangladesh is the second largest exporter of ready-made garments in the world. Then our second largest section is the pharmaceutical industries.
It's very important.
Yeah, we have a very good pharmaceutical sector. We have around 260 pharmaceutical factories or industries which are registered with the government.
And exporting?
We are exporting to almost like 92 countries of the world.
Wow.
Hundreds of millions of dollars of medicines are being exported. We export to the United States.
And it must have a high return for the country.
Yes, we are exporting to European countries. We are exporting to Japan. We are exporting to Australia. We are exporting to Gulf countries, all the Gulf countries. So our medicines are highly valued, and it is also being purchased by the United Nations, UNICEF, and UNRWA. They give medicines to various countries, to refugees and others. So they buy medicines from Bangladesh, because our medicines are comparatively quite cheap, quite cheaper than the medicines of other countries. So that's why they love to bring medicines from Bangladesh. Perhaps you have seen that BBC Bangla, they also broadcast a news around 2 months back that in United Kingdom, some people who had, they call it hepatitis C or B, which is very expensive. So they went to Bangladesh to buy those medicines from them. Their insurance company didn't cover those medicines.
His Excellency, all the best for Bangladesh and the warmest population of Bangladesh. By the end of this episode, unfortunately, the time is about to be over. In your capacity as Ambassador of Bangladesh, Mr. Abdul Muttalib Sárkar in Lebanon, what is your message to the Lebanese people, and what do you like mostly about Lebanon?
The one thing that I love about Lebanon is the hospitality and the friendship. Like Bangladesh, Bangladeshi people are very hospitable and friendly people. So there is a quite similarity between these two populations. That's why we feel very comfortable here. We have many friends, and we have both ways. We have communicated through our culinaries, through our cultural programs, through our business, investment, etc. There are a lot of potentials for Bangladesh-Lebanon relations in terms of business, in terms of investment, in terms of culture, education. We are working on those because we didn't have an embassy here for quite some time because of the civil war. So the people didn't know about our potentials. So we are working on those fields with our Lebanese friends and Lebanese leadership. And we hope that in the coming days, the Lebanese people will know more and more about Bangladesh, and we'll have more cooperation for mutual benefit. So I would like to invite them to visit Bangladesh and see our potentials in terms of tourism, business, investment.
From a virtual trip to Bangladesh, as we did today from this plateau of Mariam TV, we're gonna definitely visit Bangladesh. Thank you, His Excellency, again for being with us today, and a great mission for your diplomatic mission.
Thank you.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
مشاهدينا بنرجع لكم بعد الفاصل. مشاهدينا رجعنا لكم من البريك ونحن من بنغلاديش من بلاتو مريم تي في عم نغطي هلا فقره مميزه مع زوجة سعادة سفير بنغلاديش السيد عبد المطلب ساركر سفير بنغلاديش في لبنان ونحن هلا مع السيدة ساديا ساركر. Hello, Mrs. Sadia.
Hello.
How a great pleasure, skyrocketing sky, and the stars are shining in the studio because I have you.
Well, thank
Finally,
you so
you are
much.
here with us.
It's really a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for responding to our invitation.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. So, when we say women in Bangladesh, what does this word represent for you? You, as an intelligent, I can see, and everybody sees, a very intelligent and highly educated woman. What do you see in women in Bangladesh, and how did they mark history throughout the years?
When I see the women in Bangladesh, I see really empowered, educated, intelligent ladies and young girls who are aspiring for a better future. And our women, I'm really very proud to say that our women all over the history, all through the history, was very well known for their leadership and a prominent place in the society, as you may say so. For a few, we can name Begum Rokeya, for example, or Nawab Faizunnisa. Maybe you have heard of them.
Chaudhurani.
Yes, Chaudhuri, yes, Nawab Faizunnisa Chaudhurani.
What can you tell us about these special women?
Okay, I'll start with Nawab Faizunnisa.
Okay.
She was born in 1834, and she was she's very famous for her pioneering work in female education and her charitable work.
And especially feminist activism?
Exactly.
Wow.
And she was very vocal about
Her
the
mission.
women right.
Yes.
Human right and education. She has established one of the earliest female school in the subcontinent, not in Bangladesh. If you consider the whole Indian subcontinent, it was one of the very earliest schools. And then she also established hospitals. She patronized a few newspapers, and you know, when you have media in your hand, and she was that smart and in that era, which is really remarkable, that she chose to patronize the media, the newspaper, to have the voice in the society to advocate the women's right.
This is very amazing. And what's about Mrs. Chaudhurani?
She's Faizunnisa Chaudhurani, that's her name.
It's very difficult to spell it.
Yes, you can say Nawab Faizunnisa actually, because she was that time we were under the British rule, and the Queen Victoria named her Nawab, who is actually the equivalent of
What does it
Viceroy.
mean?
Viceroy.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
And then
What
Begum
was her
Rokeya.
special mission?
Her special mission was to establish the women empowerment, of course, and the women right, equality, the same thing that we are still fighting for, the gender parity, if you say
This is the main target of all women in Bangladesh, active women.
Exactly.
When we talk about women's rights, where are we today?
Women's rights, Bangladesh, I would say more about, when I say the women's right, I see more about equality and the access to
equal.
Yes, standing equal. That is our right. I think that to be not to be looked down on.
It's like everywhere in the whole world. This is our right.
Exactly.
Don't you believe in that, Mrs. Saadia?
Exactly. And to establish that right, we need to have the access to education, access
Exactly.
to the information technology. We need to build up a skill. It's capacity building, if you say so.
This is our weapon.
Yeah, and then we need to know about our right, actually. I always think that education, because it is, as Begum Rokeya, I was telling you about her, and she was a pioneer in the female education. She always told us, she identified that the main reason of women lagging behind is the the lacking of education.
Exactly.
So when you know what your right is and when you know how to reach them, it's really gets easier to achieve
Exactly.
those goals. And Bangladesh government has, is taking a lot of strategies and policies to ensure the women empowerment, which is really very nice.
And now talking about the national parliament, the amazing thing that I knew, a parliament woman, she's a singer. And this is what His Excellency Mr. Abdul Muttalib Sاركر covered in this part. This is amazing. They believe in their selves that much to handle a country in a hand and to have their talent in another hand, to exercise their talent in another hand, Mrs. Saadia. How do you think women can balance home and career in Bangladesh when they are in the career and raising their families?
It's actually the same challenge the women face all over the world, I would say.
It's a challenge.
The balance of to create the balance of like home and career, because we have an idea to be the best in everywhere. Like we have an illusion when you are a woman, you have to be a best mother, a best daughter-in-law, and the best officer at the same time, which I don't think is possible. Because for a man, it's not a challenge. If he's a good officer, he doesn't have to be a good son-in-law or a good son at home.
Yes.
But as a women, we have that challenge.
We have to handle all this challenge.
Exactly.
In two small hands.
Yeah. Fortunately, as a Bangladeshi woman, I have very nice examples. Maybe you have heard it before, like our Prime Minister, our Speaker, many of our ministers, and a huge number of parliament members are women. So we have, I can see that in Bangladesh, women are taking the leadership in their life, and also what is fascinating to see that they are having a strong voice as a decision maker, which is very important in the social life, to have your place where this decision is being made.
Nice. Parting from the character of women in Bangladesh, do you think that women are can be enough leaders and strong character just to lead a country and to have the big share in the political life?
Absolutely, because
Absolutely.
our Bangladesh
They
has
are open.
the longest period of women leadership. We haven't elected any male prime minister, head of state, to be say so, since 1988. So you can imagine, it's a
Nice.
we are the yes, our female leadership is the longest in the world. So this is amazing.
And what's about feminist activism?
Feminist activism, we have association now. Begum Rokeya actually established in 1916. She has established the female association, and since then many association has been formed, and they are being very active in the social life, to monitoring the how to say
The perfect word
the
or actions
implementation of the rights that we have, the laws that we have, the policies that we have, and yeah. So
and they definitely act under the umbrella of the state.
Exactly.
It's always like that.
Our government has established around 5,300 centers all over the country for the access of information of the women right, and also to oversee the violence against women. And also there are many centers for technology-based skills and for capacity building, for the entrepreneurs to give
enhance their skills.
the microcredit, because you need to have the education, the technology that you need, and also you need to have the finance. If you don't have enough finance, then it's not really, the education needs a backup.
This is
finance.
a mixture of skills,
Exactly.
of multi-skills.
And what I always say that we have 4.5 million ladies working in the garments section alone, and most of the time their income is actually the main source of income in the family.
Nice.
So they are having a strong voice in the family. So, and also the prominent presence of women in the political sphere, and also being the breadwinner, these things are having an amazing impact on the society, and we can see that the family structure and people's mentality is changing nowadays.
Wow, this is amazing. I've already asked to Mr. Abdul Muttalib Sárkar this question. I'm going to ask it to you. How do you consider, or how do you assess or rate beauty of women in Bangladesh? Parting from which point?
That's a tricky question, I would say. Women in Bangladesh, I don't think there is any typical point of looking at in Bangladesh, but in women in Bangladesh, as you see, that we see them as mother and also the leader of a society or in the house. So of course her education, her intelligence, and the ability to lead and the kindness, it defines her.
It defines her.
The things
main
that
pillar
defines
of
her,
beauty.
the things that defines her beauty.
Is she a sensitive woman?
Of course, absolutely.
Like all women.
She has to be a sensitive woman.
She has this structure, if you want to say.
Yeah.
Okay, now looking at you, you look very beautiful.
Thank you.
And the sari uniform, it has a history indeed.
It is our national uniform, national dress for ladies.
Okay.
And usually up until a very recent time, it was the casual dress as well. Like I have seen my mom always wearing the saris and all. But nowadays the trend has been changing, and people are opting more and more for the Western clothes. So the office dress and the casual dress, I would say, is going through a kind of change.
The office dress, you mean the modern dress like everywhere?
Yes.
And the sari is for special occasions?
It's always our formal dress. Whenever
All
it's
right.
formal, we always wear it. But casually, there are many people who wear it at home as well.
Okay.
But we have another dress we call salwar kameez, which comes in 3 pieces: a suit and pants and the dupatta and orna and
Okay.
a scarf.
Okay.
So that is widely worn. And then we have Western dresses, though not, and in the rural area, maybe people still are not wearing the Western one, but in urban areas and in offices, we are wearing it.
And which colors are mainly dominant for the sari?
It depends on the season, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Let's go season by season.
exactly.
supposedly.
Like in summer, because it's very bright outside, it's very hot and warm, and you can we have a humidity.
Yes.
So the fabric changes. It's mostly cotton and light
Or
colored.
silk?
No, silk usually we wear during the winter or in the rainy season,
Okay.
because silk is easy to get dry.
All right.
So, and when it's winter or in monsoon season, we wear bright colors.
But don't you think that the sari is not enough for winter season because it's cold, or do you have any other jackets?
First of all, we are not our weather is not very cold. We never
Let's
have
talk a
snow.
little bit about weather.
Yeah, so we have 6 seasons.
All right.
So we have our summer. Our year starts with summer, then comes the rainy season, and then we have autumn,
Okay.
and then late autumn, and then we have spring, winter.
Do you
and
have
then
dry
spring.
seasons
Dry is our winter is dry.
All
Winter
right.
and spring is dry. Yes.
without water?
No, not without water, but very little splash of rain. It's
Okay.
not a very. You cannot say it continuous raining. It never
Okay.
happens like that. It's pretty dry, and that is the best time to visit Bangladesh. By the way,
We're gonna go during winter.
You should. And we have we have special foods for winter. In winter we
Like
have
what?
different, we call it pita. In English we can
The
call it
pita bread?
cakes. No, it's cake, kind of
All
cake,
right.
but all of it are made at home. We make it at home with coconut, with our special sugar. We have special sugar that we make from dates.
So we didn't get the chance with His Excellency to cover gastronomy part. Let us talk with you about gastronomy, please.
I'd love to.
So the main dish is meat, always with rice, assorted with rice.
Rice
Tell
and
us
fish.
more.
No, rice and fish.
Okay.
As you already know, that we are a country of rivers.
All
So we have fish in abundance. So we take rice, fish, meat, of
Okay.
course, meat daily basis.
This is the main course.
These are the main course, and lentil.
Yummy. The lentil soup, you mean? Or not always?
It's not a soup like it. It's more thicker.
But it's liquid, little bit
It's
liquid.
yes, it's a little bit liquid, but it's much thicker than a soup because
You cover it on the rice?
yes, rice
Yummy.
or bread. We also take bread. We have
Mhm.
handmade bread.
So if we're gonna go or cover this part of desserts, like all of us like, what can you tell us?
Bangladesh is very, all the Bengali speaking people, I would like to say, are very famous for their desserts. We have homemade desserts,
Pudding
and
rice.
also and then we have shops. There are specialized dessert shops that we make from milk. Almost all of our desserts involve cheese, the homemade cheese, and then the preparation, depending on the preparation, the taste varies.
And if we want to cover this part of cakes, the fruit cakes,
Not always, but it involves a lot of coconut, sometimes mango, and then
Dried fruits?
Then dried fruits. Yes, lots and lots of milk, and also butter. But it's not butter; it's clarified butter, ghee.
Okay.
We call it.
so now moving from kitchen, we're gonna go back to the parliament, to women empowerment. So we understand that women are very active in kitchen, in gastronomy life, all over Bangladesh parts. Now, if we're gonna talk about women empowerment, Mrs. Sadia, what can you tell us, and the skyrocketing leaders and steps?
If we want to talk about the women in parliament, to ensure the women's participation, our government has reserved 50 seats for women in the parliament. Then again, women are of course free to come by election with their other opponents, and that's one thing. So you know, in parliament their presence is always ensured. Then we have quotas in our administration, defense, our aviation.
A ratio of quota
judge,
is
only for women.
yes.
And then other than the quota, apart from the quota, they're also free to come by the election or the exam or the contest, whatever you say.
And usually during elections, how does it operate, and how is interaction?
It's very, very well received, I would say, because
Peaceful way.
yeah, exactly. And in leaders, we never differentiate between a lady and a male. And we see a leader as a leader. We judge them, we judge him or her according to her leadership ability, not by the gender, which is amazing.
Yes.
And our Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, has been awarded, just recently she was awarded the Global Leadership Award
From?
in Australia from the Global Leadership Council.
Wow.
For her outstanding role in the advancement of girls' education and women empowerment. And before that, she had received numerous awards. Just
This
to
must be a
name a
victory
few.
for Bangladesh.
Exactly. We are
Wow.
very proud of it. And just to name a few, we can say that UNESCO awarded her the Peace Tree Award, then the 50/50 Championship Award, WIP Championship Award. So those are just a few of them.
Yes. I have a question. Tricky question, can we call it?
Let's see.
In your capacity as wife of His Excellency Ambassador of Bangladesh to Lebanon, how do you act? What are your beliefs, and what is your opinion about women in all over the world? which flag do you raise, and what do you do always to be that gentle, that nice, that educated? Please.
As the wife of the ambassador, if you say, my primary duties is to represent my country in the most positive way
Yes.
possible. So in a daily basis or regular basis, if you say, I interact with people.
Nice.
And I try my best to represent with my clothes. I try to represent the gastronomy, our culture, how we are, and what we can offer the world. This is my. That's what we do on a regular basis. And also in Lebanon, I find the people amazing, really. They're so friendly, they're
Thank
so
you.
open. When in our life, actually, it is very hard to find stability because the ground is always shifting. We are always moving, going to different places. But when I came here, the people really welcomed me with open arms, and I have so many lovely Lebanese friends. My relatives who are really connected me with blood is far away from me, but my friends who are here, they're lending me their
Are
ears,
closer.
and when they're sharing my joy, they're sharing my sorrows, so they really have made me feel at home.
Nice. Mrs. Saadia Sاركر, you were appointed for a very long time, for a long-term period, president of DSAL, Diplomatic Spouses Association in Lebanon. Tell us more. And it's always like that. You are shining in this association.
Thank you so much. I'm really very blessed. I always feel blessed, and it's a privilege to lead such a remarkable association. DSL, as the name says, it's the association that involves all the diplomatic spouses in Lebanon to get together and to interact, which offers us a platform to introduce ourselves, also to know better the Lebanese community, to show them and to know them better. And that creates an opportunity to develop empathy, sympathy, and collaboration.
You were there for how many years?
I'm here since the day I came, I joined the association. Then I was the vice president, and from 2017 I became the president.
This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
And the objective, the main objective is for this these people to get together?
Is to, as I
Foreigners'
said,
wives?
to interact with each other and in the local community, and at the same time, in our own way, we try to help the NGOs as much as we can in their work in society.
Before we end up this gathering or this interview together, I have a question. It's not tricky, but I will ask it to you. You have a daughter, I know, Samiha.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Thank you.
On which principles of education will you raise her, or are you raising her?
I always tell her, be kind.
Be kind.
Kindness is beauty, the most beautiful thing in the world, but also always and always stand for your own right.
Be smart.
You have to know what your right is and demand it. And if you're right, your own right, don't let other people put you down.
This is amazing. I can see a princess when I meet her, especially
Thank
in
you
the
so
official
much.
gatherings, and I told you this.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Saadia Sárكر, thank you for being with us today in Mariam TV Plateau. In few words, by the end of our interview, what is your message to the Lebanese people, and what would you like to say? The camera is here.
To the Lebanese people, I'd like to say, thank you so much. It's our heartfelt gratitude to you for welcoming us in such an amazing way. And also, I'm really surprised in a good way, and happy to see how you have retained your authenticity, at the same time welcoming the international community at your place, always taking the positive things for them, and keep it up. Keep it up, and you are doing an amazing work, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you, Mrs. Saadia Sarkar, for today and being with us. And I could say that authenticity shall apply to you because you are really authentic people, Bangladeshi people. You are so lovely people, really.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for Mariam TV and to you for having us in your studio.
Thank you, Mrs. Saadia Sarkar. مشاهدينا، لقائنا نحن وياكم اليوم من برنامج سفرة مع سفير خلص، حتى لقاءات أخرى، وبقول لكم الله معكم.